right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this panel discussion for Civilizational Dialogue. I'm Wang Guan with CGTN. We are here on a macro level, also on a micro level to discuss how cultures can really merge and there can be less divisions and stereotypes going forward. So for this panel, we have with us Wu Hongliang, President of Beijing Fine Arts Academy. We also have Colin Chinnery, co-founder of the Sound Art Museum. Professor Zhou Qing'an is Dean of the School of Journalism and Communications at Tsinghua University. And last but not least, we have He Jinghuang, Deputy Editor-in-Chief of Tencent. Now, a very warm welcome, Wu 老师。我们看到数字艺术。
Mr. Wu, digital technology is helping us to preserve and restore some traditional arts and handcrafts, especially for Notre Dame, which experienced a big fire. Digital technology came to our rescue and worked on the restoration. What's your thoughts?
赋能文化传承这方面的一些您的前沿的洞察和思考。
I think for digital technologies, it can be a powerful tool for the preservation of culture and arts. It has also become a creative artistic format. In the Beijing Art Gallery, we have over 2,000 works of the great artist Qi Baishi. Especially when we were celebrating the 160th anniversary of Mr. Qi Baishi, we had 20 exhibitions around the world, and many of them were digital ones. We also worked with Intel China to draw a picture of Beijing in Qi Baishi's style. And in San Francisco, we were also showing Qi Baishi's work. And during the Spring Festival season, in San Francisco, there was also a large group waiting to check it out. And we also have a lot of new technologies of display, such as the big screen that we can use. We also built an installation that's called Letters from Mr. Qi Baishi, the greatest Chinese painter. And we believe when good art is being communicated, there is power to it. And I also hope we can speak a modern language that is acceptable, understandable by the whole world for better communication, further empowered by technology.
Now, there are so many forms of expression. Sound is a very important one of them. Colin, let me ask you about this. You're the co-founder of Sound Art Museum, one of the first of its kind in the world. Maybe you can start by telling us a bit about what this Sound Art Museum does and how you think sound as a vehicle, as a means of communication, really broadens our horizon of mutual understanding. And what do you hope it to achieve going forward?
Yeah, Sound Art Museum is quite interesting because when I say, we do Sound Art Museum, people scrunch their brows and say, what is a sound museum? How do you exhibit sound? And because we're the first one in the world that we know of, that's a real challenge. However, as our first iteration of creating a sound art museum or a museum of sound, we need a physical structure because we need a foundation, we need a base in which to do experiments on how to exhibit sound. And we did that. We opened in 2023 here in Beijing, and we have a physical museum, and we have lots of shows there. For example, we have an exhibition of the sounds of old Beijing. You can immerse yourself in the sounds of Antarctica in our Sounds of Nature section. We have recreated the ancient languages of Xinjiang. We have a multimedia exhibition of bamboo instruments from the southern China. And we have exhibitions such as the science of sound and sound and society, as well as contemporary sound art. All these in a physical museum in Beijing. However, now we want to go beyond the walls, and we want to invite artists and musicians and other creative people from all around the world to help us create projects all around China to have audiences experience nature in a completely different way, in a completely new way, but also to understand why we need to protect nature. And all this is only possible through digital technologies, to think about new ways of creating a museum, new ways of sharing information in creative ways, and also, very importantly, new forms of collaboration.
接下来想请教腾讯的。
So, Mr. He from Tencent, we know the digital twin and AI played a very important role for spreading the cultures. So, what is your view on how the technologies reshape the narratives of the traditional cultures?
语言的存在。
我对这个问题的理解从3个方面。
There are 3 aspects. I believe that the traditional cultures can make something very new out of the cultural relics. For example, the digital twinning, and we have 700 years of the central line of Beijing, which has become the World Heritage recognized by UN already. At the same time, we can formulate a new way of doing business, which is featuring the analysis and modeling and cloud technologies and gaming and connotations and so on and so forth. And this year,哪吒 sex box office continued to soar, and as well, Wukong animation series also achieved the total viewing volumes. And new possibilities has been created by the digital technologies. The traditional skill workers, by using the AI, can actually narrow the gap of the knowledge and to create their works by these technologies. Thank you very much.
然后去实现新的文化的创作。谢谢主持人。
那周院长。
And Mr. Zhou, my question is that, so what is your view about the era, the communication and also the cultures can be empowered by the digital technologies?
这样一个发展演变。
应该说呢，在这个新的
Digital technology is not only a pure messaging or a publicity tool. It can help us to communicate. So I think most important thing is that it can 100% and three-dimensionally spread and blend the cultures together. So I believe the digital technologies to China make ways easier and convenient and can showcase China's history in a more convenient way, as well as the whole trajectories of Chinese traditions development. Digital technologies of today are more sort of infrastructure. So whoever can define the infrastructure would be the definer of the publicity of the cultures. So more and more publicity of the cultures boil down to the driving force of the public life, of course, but not out of the willingness of the countries itself, but by the general public's willingness. And city for city question has been raised. The true meaning of this question is to help all the people to participate into the spread of China's traditional novel, traditional culture. And only by doing so can we more easily and truly understand the digital technology.
理解数字技术赋能一下国际传播应该怎么样做得更好。
Now we'll open it up for questions. And I saw that young lady raising her hand. Please.
So my question is about actually the last point that Professor Zhou mentioned. Whoever creates the infrastructure can define or have an important role in how digital technologies are going to, communicate cultures. What can be done to make sure that we have technologies that are more equal, relatively marginalized cultures are better represented? Should this be taught in the classrooms, or do we need, international cooperation to empower the global majority? Thank you.
Global South play a very important role in the digital, what we said, digital reform or artificial intelligence reform. Since we understand that more and more technology of artificial intelligence developed in the recent years, and maybe America and China both create more and more LLM, large language model. But you may know more and more users, not only from China and the United States, but also from Global South, involved into the wage of the using of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is not just a technology that download from the model or from the technology, but also the upload their stories coming from different sides of the global society.
Thank you so much for sharing, Professor Zhou, and thank you all so very much. And that will do it for this edition of the panel discussion.